When a light is too bright on your face, you can't even see what's in front of you. You know? It's blinding. So when you have something that's like really taking up all of your attention in your life, you know, like you're really thinking about this all the time, you know what I'm saying? It kind of like makes it so that you can't even really see it, you know what I'm saying? It like obscures your reality almost. Some things are just too bright to look at head on. Maybe that could be the case. But yeah, that was just a little thought I had. I'm standing in a field right now. But yeah, Nick and I are gonna start doing these little thought episodes. So just little clips of us walking, usually it'll be mobile, thinking about things and sharing our thoughts with the audience. I'm not sure which one of us will do more. We might make it a little bit competitive, but I've been thinking about some things lately that I feel have been perhaps obscuring my actual vision. So my greater point isn't actually that we shouldn't think about these things. I think my point is more that we should not only think about one thing at once. You know what I mean? Like you need to keep your perspective clear. You need to see things in a true way. You need to and it's okay for these things to evolve. You know, like it's okay for everything really to evolve, because honestly, only the present moment matters, because the past and the present are kind of illusionary. Think about the fact that as soon as this instant passes, the next instant has already begun. So really all that exists at any given moment, and that's the key, I think, at any given moment, is the present day. So I think I saw a pretty cool slug on the ground back there. Actually, hold on a second. Let's take a look at this. Where is this guy? Did I see that? Oh, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I didn't see anything. Okay. So I've been thinking one of these things that's really been occupying my mind space. Oh yeah, here's the slug. You guys see that dude? Looks poisonous almost. Huh. So one of these things that's really been occupying my brain lately is economic things. Like, where exactly do I fit on the economic spectrum? Because I've been flirting a lot with sort of revolutionary thinking, kind of like socialist type of thinking, you know, type of ideas. And as you guys may have been able to tell, I guess, I mean, where I would really probably align might be somewhere like anarcho-syndicalism, or something like that, or if you want to term it, libertarian socialism. I like that phrase actually, because a lot of people on the left and the right kind of see that as a oxymoronic term, but in reality it really isn't, because socialism doesn't mean that something like the system needs to be oppressive. It actually the idea is something else. So it's really not, you can be a libertarian socialist, like that's a thing. It's really not, those two segments of thought are not exactly mutually exclusive, and it's really quite frustrating for somebody of my persuasion to hear someone like on the right, particularly I notice this on the libertarian right, try to claim that only right-wingers can be libertarians, and actually that's false. And their actual central claim that really fucking makes me angry is when they claim that the left wing is synonymous with authoritarianism. I think that's, by nature, that's a very short-sighted and blind and kind of ridiculous statement to make, because the left wing they're the people who have fought for civil rights for people like gay people, the LGBT community in general, is sort of, and I know that's kind of like a buzz term, and that kind of makes up a group that not everyone who is like a lesbian or bisexual, gay, transgender person, not everyone on that, of those, not all humans of those types, those categories, actually identify with what's called the LGBT community. But my point is, they have their rights because of the left wing. They don't have their rights because right-wingers or, those libertarian types don't have the rights because of them. It's actually, so of course, if you're the type of right-winger who thinks that those things are illegitimate or don't matter, or even worse, they kind of are a plot or a scheme, it's all part of the globalist agenda, whatever. People like that they obviously don't even care about the fact that the left wing has gained them rights, because they think that the left wing has done that for malicious purposes. So yeah, it's all kind of sensationalized, I think, but really when you get down to raw facts, it has been the left wing who has fought for those civil rights. And you can say what you want about the civil rights movement in the 1960s, but you can either agree or disagree with this. Obviously, you can either agree or disagree with anything, but the parties flipped around that time. Maybe even a little bit earlier, the parties flipped, because people say, yeah, Democrats supported slavery. Yeah, but obviously they don't support slavery now. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find a Republican who supported slavery, I think, as well, but I mean, in the present day. But the parties flipped, and the Republicans started using this thing called the Southern strategy to appeal to basically Southern white racists as a demographic. And they're still employing this strategy to get votes. That's what it is. It's an electoral strategy. Because, when things boil down to a lot of these people, these politician types, it's all kind of a game to them. It's all kind of like, it's political machines and campaigns think, or at least ones that achieve what they get or achieve what they're after, they think the way that a corporation will think about profit. They think that, like, oh, well, we need to get votes the way that a corporation will think. We need to make money. They're both types of production or systems that are primarily and solely concerned about production, okay? So what this means is maybe they're not actually racist, you know? Maybe they're trying to get the vote. What it also means is, like, this is a conclusion that you can probably draw yourself by the fact that I just laid out that first part. The fact that they are making it so that it doesn't matter whether or not they're just gonna say it anyway, kinda makes it wrong anyway, you know? It's a little bit, hold on a second, it's a little bit dehumanizing. 'Cause, you know, to the corporations, we are capital, and to the campaigns, we are votes. But let's backtrack a little bit. So I've been thinking about socialism. I've been thinking about libertarian socialism. I've been thinking about anarcho-syndicalism. And I've been thinking about anarchism. Or, as it's commonly phrased, anarchy. And I've really been weighing my options as to, like, what do I support and why? What are my ideas and why? And this is kind of like almost, it's almost like, it's hard to think about that. And I'll tell you why it's hard to think about that. It's hard to think about that because it's the area of the political spectrum, or the political categories, that I have ignored. Because I just think, I've always thought, okay, maybe economics doesn't really matter that much, you know? Like, maybe I should focus on social issues, societal issues, issues of like liberty, you know, like libertarian importance, like LGBT rights and things like that, and legal marijuana and things like that. Maybe I should just focus on that, and also on the philosophical end of things, and kind of identify with the left wing because of that, you know, and stay away from the socialism. But I actually have realized that I kind of have a radical libertarian stance. I kind of have, like, I'm in the position where I believe in freedom to an extent that I feel like a lot of people don't believe in freedom. Because I think it's just honestly a core part of my value system in some way. I value freedom a lot. I value empathy a lot, and feelings and emotions and things of that nature. I value intelligence a lot, and education a lot. And I also don't really value order too much. I don't really strive for power the way that a lot of people will claim that people who lean towards the socialist end of things kind of do, you know? Like, they all think that we're all, like, I'm saying we because for all intents and purposes you might as well call me a socialist. They all believe that we are just trying to control people and are just trying to control the narrative, and our motivation is not truly compassion, and if it is, it's unfounded compassion. They like to assert the thought that people who are socialists are evil, and that socialism as an idea is evil. And I would posit that that is false. I would say the Steven Crowders of the world are off on that. And probably on a lot more. Because honestly, I see a lot of problems with capitalism. I see a lot of problems, especially with the way that things are being done now, and the way that the world has turned out under the systems that have been in place for a long, long time. And I understand the fact that they've been in place for a long, long time. And I understand the fact that some things work. Some things are proven that they're working. Some things are definitely working. Some things, the system is. Some would say the system is working at its peak capacity in the 21st century. But I think that it's wired to. Honestly, it's wired for self-destruction, because you have issues like factory farming, you have issues like climate change is a massive one, you have issues of that nature, where it's like, we're just burning all our resources away. We're serving the economy instead of the economy serving us. You know what I mean? We're like... That's dangerous. That's actually not a good thing. That's... Because the economy isn't going to serve us back. You know? Like, it's... It'll serve you back if you're, like, a really fucking rich, like, investor type. Because that's the way that things run. But it really isn't... The economy as an idea isn't going to fucking reward you for paying it and feeding it more. It's like a... We've turned all of our systems into, like, parasites that we need to survive, I feel. I'm positing that assertion. I hope that all of you have thoughts about this, especially because I've been putting a lot of thought into that, because I kind of always have. I said that I stay away from economical issues, but I've always noticed the problems with capitalism. I've always seen the problems of the industrialization of the human race. I've always seen what I don't like about it. And a lot of what I don't like about it is there's a lack of genuinity. There's a lack of realness that comes across and expresses itself in systems of this nature. When everything becomes industrialized, the soul is gone. And actually people start getting fucked over. Look at the music business. Look at the fact that, and this really plays into the point about we've created parasites that we need to stay viable, to literally survive. Think about the fact that we've literally created a way of feeding ourselves that we can't survive without at this point. Like, but we just don't have enough resources to. Like, if we got rid of McDonald's and all that shit, and grocery stores and the way that we do things, we wouldn't survive. We've actually made it so that we need these things to stay on this planet, because we don't have the resources anymore. It's like the world is Hunter S. Thompson, you know? It's like the world is just like, let's burn out, you know? Like, let's just throw all of our fucking eggs in one basket and just fucking charge full speed ahead with the basket in our arms. That's what it reminds me of. But I really wanted to say some things like that, because, like I said in the beginning, something's right in front of you. It can be kind of blinding. So, yeah. Feel free to fucking comment below and watch the podcast, Abstract Thinking Podcast. We've got 3 of them out right now. First one is about, it's not actually about Nietzsche, or Nietzsche. It's actually about, we talked about the intellectual dark web, which is like Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, all those guys that seem to be in a coalition now, which is just weird. But we talked about that. Second episode, we talked about what Nick calls Hellenism, which is, it's what is known in the Renaissance as humanism, which is like the study of the Greco-Roman classics. And we talked a lot about foreign policy and warfare in that. And then in the third one that just came out, we talked about the Renaissance. Yeah, we talked about like second episode 2 was kind of about reviving honor and combat, and episode 3 was kind of about reviving an intellectual spirit in society. And that ties into capitalism as well. That ties into the fact that people need jobs to survive and they need money to live, and that creates a lack of freedom. And then they get posited in front of them the illusion of freedom. Like, oh, you can do any of these things, but the catch is that you have to do something, you know? So, I don't want to get too far back into things because I really don't want to make these episodes super fucking long. But I just want the whole of the audience to understand that I actually believe in ideas. I think that this stuff is really important. I think that you really need to say what you think, and you really need to really think that, you know, like and think it before you say it. Like, I actually believe in the actual free marketplace of ideas. Like, I really do. It's not ideological like that, you know what I'm saying? And too much do we put things in those terms. And that being said, I will see you guys in maybe the next episode of Abstract Thinking Podcast, maybe another video like this, maybe another show that I have ideas for starting, any number of those things. Hopefully I'll see you there. Yeah. Feel free to fucking tell me I'm a dumbass in the comments, please. Yeah. Bye.